Good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us on the Global Entertainment TV show, and welcome to your opinion, where we tackle the hottest topic in entertainment alongside with the viewers. So be sure to send in your opinion while the show goes on. Send us a message on WhatsApp or interact on our comment sections as well. We would love to hear from you. Today's topic is street parenting. Okay, for the background, Samuel Oyeme, a 17 years old student, visits his classmate Anastasia Celestine at her residence and was allegedly assaulted and detained by Mr. Celestine, Anastasia's father, and his two brothers, and they locked him inside a dog cage. Samuel's mother was denied access to him for 2 hours. So my question is, what are your thoughts on the incident where a teenage boy was locked in a dog cage as a punishment for visiting a female classmate? Stephen.
Well, my thoughts still remain the same because that act to me is barbaric because you can't just lock in a human being inside a dog cage. That dog cage is meant for animals. That guy is not an animal; he's a human being. You locking up someone's child inside a dog cage, me, I see it as a barbaric act because one, that boy came to visit his friend, who is a female. I don't know what the parent might be thinking is
It's even
conspiring.
strictly by invitation because the girl invited the guy.
I don't know the kind of relationship those children have between themselves, but the fact that it's a cordial visit to the lady, they were outside, not inside. They were not caught doing anything wrong. Just came to visit a friend. So the parents came in, the father came in and saw them together. I don't know if he has warned her before not to come, but I don't think that act of him locking that boy inside the cage is I don't want to even know what the boy did or what the boy has done. But him locking the boy inside the cage to me is very, very barbaric and I don't support that.
So what is your opinion, Bella?
Yeah, like what he says, the act of that man is very, very bad because he also have a child, and then this boy is an engagement with your child. Instead of locking someone else's child in a dog cage, which is not even meant for humans, why don't you just at least have a one-on-one with the boy's parents, then try to get their child to come visiting your child in a manner that you don't like. Then they too can caution their child instead of beating him up and then ended up locking him up and denying the parents of access not to see. That is very
I even heard they beat the younger sister of the guy because he was trying to call for help, trying to enter the compound again, but they beat her.
that is a very, very bad act. Your child, if after you have called your child and then since you are a father, you would have called the boy to at least tell him what you don't want. If he still don't insist, look for this child parents and then talk to them about the thing, and so that they also can call their child to caution instead of you trying to take the law. What if anything happened to the guy and then he passed away? He's going to be detained for it. Both his entire household is going to be held responsible for murder, and which is not good.
At all. Like the heart is serious.
The act is very, very
Both
bad.
the father and
The
the two
brother,
sons.
the two sons actually joined
They
it.
said they beat the guy, they still seize his phone. God. Okay, so
Nigerian strict parents.
like so what are the disadvantages of street parenting?
Actually, it reduces decision making skill. Like that decision, you're going to be scared because in first you're going to be like, what if I make this decision and my parents don't like it? What if I take this path in life and then they don't like it? Because everything you're going to be doing is going to be based on fears.
The child self, the father or the mother will sit down, the child will be the mind of the child will be
Will
like
not be at
can't face
rest.
your
Like
parents.
it's going to cause a whole lot of fear in that child. Like
Yes.
they don't have a bond relationship with the parents, and that decision that you can't even make for yourself alone is like, okay, mom, I want to go out. Where are you going? Sit down there. You are not going out unless I ask you to go out. So it's going to give you like how like we say the fears alone to even voice out. So that is why most of those children, where they feels like they have a strict parent, they now come up with certain lies just to give them opportunity to go out,
do
because
some things.
they start studying their parents and they know the kind of thing. If they are the parents that love to hear lies, that okay, mommy, I want to go out and visit
And
a friend
read.
for a reading competition, they are going to say,
You
my
can go.
mom, that you are doing well, you can go. So they feel like this one is the lie that they can just that they can't actually give you, because even if you caught them saying the lie, they're going to be scared to even tell you the truth. Are you lying? They'll tell you no, that they're not lying. And that is one thing that is just about the strictness, that you at least sometimes be friendly with your child.
Apart from that, sef, poor social skills. For the child to move around in a community, he or she will be fearing that what if my parents catch me talking to this person? What will be my punishment, or what will be the person's punishment? Do you
Exactly.
understand? What will the parent do to her or at home, or what would the person he or she is talking to face? Do you understand? So Stephen, what do you have to say on this?
Well, I would say, one of the main disadvantage and the effect on the child, it increases the risk and anxiety of and depression, because one, if you keep on being strict to a child, you're always scolding the child, you're always any small thing that child does, probably you flog the child, you assault the child, the child becomes depressed. He's going to have this depression feeling that okay, anytime you just stay for without being social, without being education wise, because depression alone, I tell you, kills. You can't just when someone thinks too much, it affects the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Too
They
much
won't
of thinking,
concentrate
they
at
won't be able
all
to
in school.
concentrate. If the mind will not be focused to a particular place,
Yes, they
even though
won't
when they are in
focus.
school, they are being taught something, they won't have that full concentration, because one, the
Mm-hmm.
mind will be like, if I go home now again,
I don't know
my
what
mom
I'm
will do
meeting at
this, my
home. I
mom will
don't
do
know
this.
this. I don't know that.
And this happens to mostly children that live with people that are not their parents.
Mm-hmm.
They always feel depressed, the anxiety will always be in them. um that's why most children, when they go out like this, they would like to play all the play they can play at one spot, because they know when they get home like this, it's just like another world to them.
Mm-hmm. But talking about this street parenting, do you know that the advantage is a good thing when the parents knows how to use it, when to do it and when not to do. Because there are some children that need iron hand. Forget that though. Some
So
children need iron hand.
yeah, shoot,
Exactly.
some
So
children need
let's
that
talk
around
on the
here.
advantage of the children, Bobo.
Because one, it protect them from harm, because there are some
Mm-hmm.
children that will be like, some parents will be like, see, that place you are going to, you must not go there, you must not do this. Or some children, after telling them that, they will still go there. After going there, okay, you now went there now, just like an instance of a child now that was asked, don't go to this particular street. Parents asked you, don't go to this particular, and you finally went there, you now came back with bruise and injury. Probably you were playing rough. I expect the parents to love that child, because if you like no window, my
Still
own
beat you
mama
up.
go flog you on top again. You like carry big eye come see one person punch you,
Slap
one person slap
you.
you. Inside that slap, she will add her own to it. I tell you.
It's actually good for the strong work of athletes, because you're going to at least be around with your own people and families, and like all those families from family family and all
Mm.
that. Everybody is going to be like, they're going to know a lot about the family cultures and all that, and then have respect for everyone. The advantage sometimes is that is like a 50-50 things, that both the advantage and disadvantage is just on a 50-50. If you are going to restrain your child not to go outside too much, and then you are keeping the child indoor, okay, is learning, going to school, come back, and then you are giving the access to phone and social media, you won't know what is going to be learning from the
Mm-hmm.
social media. It can have a social media life, but it won't have a social life with people that are outside. So this thing needed to be like, if you're going to be strict to your child, and then you needed the advantage and the disadvantage, you needed to balance it at the same time, restraining them from harm and also allowing them to at least experience some things out there, not keeping them in there, and then you make a 247 Wi-Fi available, Android phone for a child of 10 to 16 years available for them, so that instead of them to go out and mingle with people and then get along, like feel free to actually express themselves, they rather hide in their phone, and then that you feel like that one is now parenting, because since the child is not going out, my child is always indoor. You are proud of it, but at the same time, you don't even have time to even look at what the child is doing on the phone. But it feels like, okay, since I'm already a strict parent, my child it does not go out if I didn't ask her to go out. If I'm not going out and she's not following me, she can't do that, but she's going to be inside, and then you just allow her to be using a Wi-Fi 247. You're not going through the phone. It's something that strict parents is just needed a balancing. Everything cannot be strict. You need social bonding with your child. The same way you're going to be strict on some of the things that they are doing, which you feel like is wrong, is the same way that you needed to. If you are going to be petting them in a harsh way, you also need to pet them in a calm way. Because some of these children, if you're going to be over hashing on them now, they will now feel like, my parent does not like me. It seems like another person born me, now they carry me. You know, children mentality now, they're already going to feel like, like another person born me, now they carry me, come this life. So that thing is going to be building up in them. If there is going to be bond where they can joke, they are free to talk to you about their fears and what they see in school. Come here, come and tell me what happened in school today. Then they'll start narrating story. This. Then the bond is going to be growing.
Yeah, but to me, I believe foundations matters a lot.
Yeah.
You can't spoil a child right from child. Do you understand? And you expect the person, probably the girl or the boy now is 10 years, 11 years, and you just change all of a sudden. How do you expect the person to change? Do you understand? How do you expect the person to change? That's why some of them lose focus in school. They will not concentrate. And some, the way they will change to you self, you will be like, is this my child? Am I the one that gave birth to this?
You know, one thing that most people actually think that when a child is small, that is when they like
They can bond.
No, it's not even the matter of they can bond. It feels like when a child is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they are still very tender. So whatever they feel like that child is doing at that moment, they don't need to correct it, because they feel like the child.
Baba will say something like you need to.
They feels like that very tender age from 1 year to 3 years is very, very, they are still baby. So whatever they are going to be doing, even if she let her cry for this thing now, mommy, I need this, immediately you want to give it to her because you feel like it's still a child. But I feel like some parents should know that at that very 1 year, 2 year is not for you to beat them, but a little scolding, like just scold them up whenever they demand for something. You know that even if you have the money at that moment,
you just
don't want it to give them, so that they feel like, okay, it's not everything that is going to come in handy. There are some things that at least even a 3-year-old child knows how to beg. Mommy, please now, mommy, please, I won't do it again. So there's this friend of mine, then she has a 3 year child. So anytime she did something, this girl always have everything she wants. So one day we were like, why would you be doing this to this girl is 3 years old, you have to make sure that. So one day whenever she did something, her mom beat her, she's going to be like, mommy, please, you need to see the way she was begging, so serious in it. Mommy, I won't do it again. The mom was like, so you know how to beg? I don't know. So she was like, so in her own thought, it was like, this child is too small, I don't need to be scolding her that much. If she need anything, let me give it to her. That is the process we are going to be using to spoil the child.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. How can what roles do you think parents and guardians should play in guiding their children's social interaction, especially with the opposite sex?
There are so many rules. Because one, let's talk about the opposite sex now. Let's talk about the female, because now if you want to protect a female child, a girl child, there are so many things that come in place. One, when they start having this their puberty stage in a child, so you need to let them know their boundaries about, okay, well, this place is not where you are supposed to be. This place is not where you are supposed to stay. This place is not what you are supposed to do. You're not supposed to be at this place with someone. Because now I always tell people, say, as a female, and as a parent also, there's some education you need to be given to your children. Okay, don't allow you to be touched in a particular place. Don't allow this person to do this to you. Don't allow the person to do this to you. Because when you start educating children in this way, they believe that, okay, this is the way to go, and this is not the way to go.
I think it started from the bonding of the team, because if you are already going to be bonding from your child when is small. Like asking just kind of a regular talk, like just tell me something, tell me, like feel free with them. I think if anything like that is going to be happen when they are already getting to their puberty, or even nowadays that where some men would not even allow a child, or all those kind of harassment that is going on now. So they can be feel free to tell you that especially those ones that are in face me, I slap you. That thing is quite common there. They can be feel free to tell you that mommy, this Mr. Kiniko called me to his room today. So this is what he said, this is what he said. So if you're going to be bonding, but in that term of everybody feels like you are free to train my child. Everybody is free to train my child, like dying in the olden days, but not now that it feels like everybody, including man or woman, they are free to train your child. So when your child do something little, you say, I beg, well, everybody come and help me beat my child because he did this something. You as a mother, you have to make sure that you caution your child, teach her the discipline of life, especially the male child and the female. Those two are quite important. Teach them the discipline of life. There are male child that is actually on the verge of losing it because they are men. They feels like men are supposed to, they don't needed a listening ear even when they wanted to talk out. And some female child, that because you say they are female child, you wanted to feels like let them not look outside and then you over spoil them. So I think that the depression part is much more in the men than the ladies.
And even once you are strict, telling them that okay, they should not do, they'll be like, let me even do this thing. My mom said I should not do this. What is there?
What is there?
Not to do?
What is there for me not? Let me try it out.
Because they are strict, they need this education. That's why we say right from small, they should be educating them. It's not when they are 18 years old, when they are 60 years old. You don't call them, they don't even sit down.
You now feel like
can just come into their life like that.
You now feels like you wanted to start talking to them. There was this lady, the couple that was living. This girl is already 16 years, so the mom was a single mother. But right now, the mom was like, whether she feels like she did something wrong. No, she even feels like she did something wrong in the way that she brought the child up. Because even the child said, even the mama, if they talk now like this, go just look at, they smile. You know, go send you. You know, send the mama. Now wait till they have my now she go do. If you like talk, all of us don't talk tire. How would you be this? You're just 16 and then everything about you is at this verge of collapsing. Like you are this. How? You're 16. She don't care. Mama, if you said that we go 3 hours, 4 hours. Maybe you know it 30 minutes, 5 hours before you go come back. So, and the guts that she has is that even when the mother is shouting and crying, beating her, she's used to beating. She's used to the beating. So even if the mother is beating her, shouting, if the mama don't finish, I want her to stand up, make she go the laugh for where she won't laugh. No sense. So you can imagine that kind of hand that the mother used to carry her when she was little. So it's very very important for the bonding.
Okay, do you have anything more to say on this?
You know, I think open communication between the parents is very encouraging for this, because if you are free with your child and your child is free with you, so many things will come out, so many things will be leaked. Because the way most parents have communication with their children, but when sometimes their children want to tell them something, the way they won't school themselves, child like, if I tell my mommy this thing, she will beat me, she will do this, and she might beat me, she might not beat me, she might even escalate it. Because children like when they tell a particular person something and they didn't hear it outside. Children are more secretive.
They can trust in you more.
Yeah. Children are more secretive than adults, I tell you. Because one, they tell you something, please don't tell anybody. Mommy, don't tell anybody. Is that same mommy that was standing
with the was not here.
Is that same mommy that
daddy was here? Daddy was here.
Like, we have to tell you something.
And one thing that is bothering me is about this new generational parenting.
Parents said nowadays they don't have
new generational parenting.
They think that all they need now is money. Let me just satisfy my children. Let me provide for the house.
It's not even about the money. Like new generational children is like nowadays they find it hard to even bond with their own siblings.
It's because they
talk more of bonding with their parents. So you when they provide money, there's money there, and then you see a child in level 13 years, 14, 15 years with their own tablets. Everybody is in their room scrolling through the social media.
Exactly.
Even some said the one that managed to even go through the assignment, they are going to do it, and then when they come out, it's just as if that come and pick your food. So the one is that is going to be in the room is in the room eating. The one that is in the dining is in the dining eating. The one that don't even want it to join is just somewhere else pressing phone. And then that bonding alone, when they grow up tomorrow, they are going to feel alone. Like the loneliness is going to be piling up with them because they never did that while they were small. They never bond with their sibling. They never even bond with parents.
Your
And then
parents.
when they grow up tomorrow, everything is going to feel like no one is
Some
there
people
for
are
them.
even bullied in school. Some children, they are bullied in school.
No, it's not even about the bullying. The bullying is there, but I'm talking about this kind of the separation among siblings because you just feels like I beg there is something that you needed to call your sibling. Instead, if you don't want it to talk to it to your parents, you feel like okay, this my sister or my brother is someone that I could confide in whenever I have issue. But because of the new generation and the social media stuff, you hardly say it out. So there are a lot of anonymous message this time around. My this or my that, but you can't tell it to your own family because you are scared. You haven't bond with them right from childhood, and that is kind of alarming. Because tomorrow you are going to find a whole lot of people, even if they have siblings, they are all feeling lonely. Because how will you start a conversation with someone that you never bond with from childhood? And then it can't start now. It can't start now. Some parents will be left all alone because the children have already traveled out, and then they never started that relationship while they were small. So if the people are getting old, they feel all alone because the child never have a time. They don't even know what they are going to be discussing with the family. They feels like, hope you are fine. I'm fine too. Okay, talk to you later. But they have something that is bothering them, but they don't know how to start the conversation because the bonding was never there.
I get where you're coming from. Okay, guys, in conclusion, while discipline is necessary for teaching responsibility and boundaries, blending it with warmth, open communication, and understanding foster healthier outcome. Thank you guys for joining us for another segment of your opinion. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more news and updates on Global Entertainment News TV. Until next time, I have been your host, Sola.